Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is CF Claire, and I am currently writing the second draft of my contemporary shifter romance. And it's essentially a rewrite. It's kind of like first draft quality, so I'm fast drafting it based off of a very fleshed out outline. I did a video on the first 10 chapters, like how long they were, the impressions, how hard they were to write, what I like about them, what's like not working. And so this is just like the next 8 chapters, how those went, and just kind of like thoughts along the way of like the process of it. This last week, I was trying to write chapters 10 through to 17, which bring me very close to the midpoint of the book. The midpoint is chapter 20. Possibly importantly, like I'm not currently published. And this project is one that has been like, oh my God, it's had like 10 incarnations over the course of 6 years. So there's the context for that. The whole point of this is that I'm trying to fast draft. I am not trying to write well right now. I'm trying to take my outline and get a prose version of that onto the page. So that's like important. So for chapter 10, that was from the love interest point of view. That, I don't know what was going on. That was 2,452 words. And I wrote that in 1 hour and 20 minutes. And I like to work in like between 5 to 25-minute time increments of like actually writing sprints. Lots of exposition at the start, which was really helping me get back into it. So that's probably like why it had part of a longer word count than a lot of my other chapters. I really needed to like set myself back up into it after being away from it for 2 days because I took a break over the weekend. There's a lot of commentary from the son. The main character has a 6-year-old son or 5-year-old son. Okay, and so say you're a mom of a 5-year-old without saying you're a mom of a 5-year-old. Like in real life, I am also the mom of an almost 5-year-old. This chapter and the next chapter both have unintended fart jokes. Like, I don't know what's going on. This is a romance. Like, what are we doing? But there's a 5-year-old in this, and somehow that got into it. It's just like, it's actually like pretty funny. Yeah, I ended up really liking this chapter a lot, I think, because of those interactions that the child brought to the antagonistic dynamic between the main character and the love interest, because they have like an antagonistic thing going on, but like they're both trying to not in front of the kid, and the kid's just like being a kid. So yeah, I would say that was a good chapter. I like that one a lot. Chapter 11 was 1,655 words, and I wrote that in 45 minutes. There's another fart joke in this one. Like, what are we doing? We can't have this. This one had a lot of like choppy, here's me hammering in, like, she's doing this, she's feeling this, here's her plan of what's going on. It's just like, okay. No finesse in the writing. I've noticed I'm having like a little bit of a difficulty in writing the exact emotional thread between the main character and the love interest at the moment, because I kind of didn't clarify exactly how much information the love interest has told her, which would have been like in the previous chapters I wrote in the first quarter. And I had him just like telling a lot of information, but right now it feels like what we need is the tension of him having not told her that stuff. So I feel like it's a little wishy-washy right now. Like there's not enough tension in what I've written, which I'm only now realizing. So we'll need to go back and fix that later. It was a good chapter though. I think it was pretty good. Chapter 12 is the love interest again. That was 2,303 words, and it took 1 hour and 20 minutes. This was probably my favorite chapter that I wrote this last week, because as I was writing through one of the scenes, I kind of like stumbled across some of the motivation that I hadn't really had worked out for why the love interest is going to be like doing certain things. It's cute. The love interest is this like very classic shifter, harsh romance stereotype sort of guy. And he's got a lot more going on that distinguishes him from just that. And so he has these like one-on-one scenes with the 5-year-old where he has to like figure out how to have this dynamic with a child. He's never been around children. He doesn't know anything about what's going on. And the child is just like a 5-year-old who doesn't care. And so that was just like a very fun dynamic. And it ended up being like really sweet. Yeah, this was a good chapter. It was my favorite one. Chapter 13 is the main character again. It was 1,860 words and it took 50 minutes. I couldn't get a grip on like how much time had gone by. So I liked this chapter, But again, it was the murkiness of like, what is the actual emotional thread right now between the love interest and the main character? Because what I have written is like a very cute, semi conflicted scene. And I think at this point we need like a lot more conflict. So this may actually be like a good scene for like later on, like moving it later into the second quarter. I think that might be better placement for it. But as written, it's kind of like, wait, why are they getting along so well right now? It was okay. It was cute. It did what I needed it to do. Chapter 14 was 760 words. It took 20 minutes. I am not trying to like fill out a certain word count. I am literally trying to like write the scenes that I've outlined and not push if it feels like, oh, I don't know if this scene is actually working. Then it's like, okay, very underwrite, like very underwrite it. That's what I'm trying to do right now. So I can just like look at the whole draft after and be like, I super underwrote this chapter. And yeah, that makes sense because I think we need to just take it out because it doesn't fit there. Or like, oh, now I know how I would flesh that out. So I'll add more words there. Yeah, this had more of the time discrepancy. I think in chapter 13, it's like New Year's. And then in this one, I was like, wait, shoot, it's supposed to be Christmas coming up in a few days. So it's like, oh, okay, what's going on? And I also had like a certain event planned for this that was going to like lead to a big conflict between the two of them. And as I was writing, I was like, I didn't actually plan like what that event was, and I don't know that it makes sense that that would happen. So I super underwrote that. Here's the last one of the last like paragraphs that I wrote, which is literally just me talking to myself. I'm having a hard time holding on to what their opinions are of each other, and it's wishy-washy here of how much he's told her and how much she knows about him. It feels like it's too fluid and I can't gain traction. Let's wrap this here and just jump to the argument where I have a better grasp. So that's part of that word count. And you'll notice this is like a continuing trend in the last chapters. Chapter 15 is the main character, and it's literally 380 words that I wrote in 18 minutes. The reason is this is supposed to be that argument. And I realized, no, I don't have a better grasp on this because I really don't know what he's told her so far. And I don't think this is the time to figure it out. I need the other pieces. There are other chapters that I understand much, much better. Apparently, a bunch of these ones in the second quarter, like, I didn't, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So I'm not forcing it. Skipping ahead. Chapter 16, 1,492 words, took 47 minutes. It was in the love interest perspective. There's a continuing trend where my favorite chapters and the ones that are the easiest to write are the ones where the love interest is having conversations with the other people in the friend group. And if you're not familiar, like the point of this series is that it's an interconnected standalone series where every person in a five-person friend group finds their person. And so I don't know, like I have a really good grasp on those interactions and they're really fun and they kind of just like fly off the page. It's not exactly what you want when you're writing romance and it's not the main characters flying off the page. Like I know that I can get there, but I changed a bunch of stuff about both of them and so I'm still like figuring it out. There is one thing that I loved the most. This might actually be my favorite chapter because one of the people in the friend group is the director of a wildlife sanctuary, and he is constantly fostering animals. And the love interest needs his opinion on something, and they're like in conflict at the moment. And so they're like two gruff guys who like don't talk about emotions. They both have stuff going on that the other person cares about, but they're also like in conflict over what the love interest is doing in the story as relates to the main character. Um and so they've got all this stuff going on and the setting for them starting to like tentatively talk about stuff between them is love interest goes to the director of the animal sanctuary's house and he bottle feeds a baby deer as they're like trying to talk about feelings. It's super cute. I love it. It's adorable. Chapter 17 might be the funniest one yet. This was the last chapter that I did this week. It was 407 words and it took 13 minutes. And the reason that I think this might actually just be like meant to be part of a different chapter. I don't think it needs its own chapter. And again, it's like that I'm not sure where they are in their relationship with each other, how they're feeling about each other. Like I don't know if this actually should be here or possibly actually in the third quarter. So we're skimping. We're skimping. So it was okay. Altogether, the manuscript is at 23,661 words. Been writing for 9 days. No, there's been 10 days of actually writing. And I was really pleased to have written all 8 of the chapters that I tried to write the last week because we did have an unexpected family get together that we needed to do that took like the entire day. And then there was like a lot of driving. And so there was like recovering from that still the next day. So I was really, really pleased, even though some of the chapters had like a very low word count. I think it was justified. I don't feel bad about that. I think I'm making the right call for myself about where I am with that. So I hope that was semi-interesting. I'm really excited to be able to sit down with a draft at some point and feel like I'm at the stage where I don't need to rewrite it and like do it fast. And so I can just like sit and take my time with it and finesse and polish and like play around with wording and stuff. But I'm not there right now. And gee, ain't it too bad? But that's okay. I hope your writing's going well. I hope life's going well. And let me know if you are like what stage of the process you're at with what you're writing and how that's going. I'd love to hear about it. And I'll see you in the next video.